What's up, cool people? Welcome to another Study Stream Saturday. And once again, as soon as I change scenes, OBS has frame issues. Oh well. Seems like it's recovered a bit now. Anyway, yeah, so I kind of had to delay. Had to. I did wind up delaying the start of today's stream just a little bit because I had some stuff going on that I wanted to do first. Um, I can get into more detail later, but yeah, it was a family thing. That's all I'll say right now. Um, so yeah, we're pretty much going to be doing the usual stuff. I just figured, well, first, before I get too far, just know that at any given point, this stream may be abruptly ended / cut short. Because I might get a call or text or whatever from my family about wanting to talk about something. And if that's the case, I will need to fairly quickly end this so I can do that. But anywho, I guess that's about it. Huh. First time I've seen the stream elements bot running on any of this stuff, at least for YouTube. Interesting. Anyway. Okay, so, yeah. I guess I'll just hop right into the Bible study stuff. And actually, let me see if I can, yeah. Just so I have some semblance of Kick Chat available while I'm doing this, I'm going to pop out a chat window for that, place it over on the same monitor that I have the YouTube chat. That way, my other monitor, where I'm doing the Bible study stuff, I could just focus on that without worrying about, like, you know, being completely unable to see any of the chat windows or anything like that. So, let's bring up Bible study stuff. Here we go. And we will, as usual, be picking up right where we left off. And I guess I'll kind of give more of an explanation of things once I actually start recording and diving into it. Speaking of which... Okay. So, now we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 3. We read chapters 1 and 2 before, and so far it's been Moses sort of recapping what's been going on between, leaving Egypt and where they are now. What's up, Al? How's it going? Hope you're doing better than Thursday when you were having the headaches and whatnot. I'm doing okay. I can get into a bit more detail later, but I'd rather do that Not in the midst of recording stuff, although I can edit that out, but maybe in between chapters. So, yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 3 seems to be continuing the sort of recap that Moses is giving the people of Israel. I did peek ahead just a little bit to chapter 4, and it seems like that's where he's actually going to start adding new things. So, seems like we're ending the recap with this chapter. But if you've been keeping up with the Bible study so far, a lot of this is going to sound familiar, with possible slight other details added in. So anyway, here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 3. Next we turned and headed for the land of Bashan, where King Og and his entire army attacked us at Edrei. But the Lord told me, "Do not be afraid of him, for I have given you victory over Og and his entire army, and I will give you all his land. Treat him just as you treated King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon." Okay, so when it says next we turned, and like that was pretty much right after they had fought King Sihon and the Amorites. So that's what just preceded this in the event recap. So just for the context of when he's saying next. Otherwise, yeah, kind of a similar situation. They encounter resistance. God says, "Don't be afraid, because I am going to give you victory here." So then, verse 3. So the Lord our God handed King Og and all his people over to us, and we killed them all. Not a single person survived. We conquered all 60 of his towns, the entire Argob region in his kingdom of Bashan. Not a single town escaped our conquest. These towns were all fortified with high walls and barred gates. We also took many unwalled villages at the same time. We completely destroyed the kingdom of Bashan, just as we had destroyed King Sihon of Heshbon. We destroyed all the people in every town we conquered, men, women, and children alike. But we kept all the livestock for ourselves, and took plunder from all the towns. So, little bit of extra detail there that I'm not quite recalling. A, there being 60 towns, and B, that multiple of them were highly fortified. Which pretty much just adds to the overall kind of potential that there was for difficulty in these battles, and yet God was with them and they were victorious. Of course, having 60 towns, depending on how spread out they are and how many people are in each, that could actually, in a way, make the battling slightly easier than if all of said people were, like, packed together in one town. And, you know, as for getting rid of all the people, I mean, it was at least my kind of assumption is in most of these situations, especially when it feels like they're just going for complete, utter destruction, no survivors, any of that. It usually kind of goes back to God not wanting them to intermingle too much with and therefore be influenced by the other peoples of these regions, so that they don't end up, you know, being tempted to worship other gods, beings, whatever you want to call them. Like what happened when they were seduced and, you know, led astray by the Moabite women, and I guess there were Midianite women involved too. At least one of them was the daughter of like a captain or chief or somebody like that. So, not wanting God, not wanting his people to be led astray, it was quite common in this phase of, the Israelites' history for them to just completely wipe out all the people. And let me just... So the footnote there, destroyed, is probably much like previous ones that we've read, previous footnotes we've read at that same word, where it's talking about complete consecration of things or people to the Lord. And I kind of wish I had a bit better of an idea, maybe of the original Hebrew or something like that, so it would, like, I think, though, essentially what it's saying is that, like, what they did, whether completely destroying them or giving them as an offering, so to speak, it was done sort of in God's name, or like per his will or command or something like that. Which just kind of further drives home the earlier point that I was making. Anyway, then verse 8. Let's finish off this little section here. So we took the land of the 2 Amorite kings east of the Jordan River, all the way from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is called Sirion by the Sidonians, and the Amorites called it Senir. We had now conquered all the cities on the plateau, and all Gilead and Bashan, as far as the towns of Salika and Idre, which were part of Og's kingdom in Bashan. King Og of Bashan was the last survivor of the giant Rephaites. His bed was made of iron and was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It can be seen in the Ammonite city of Rabbah. So, King Og himself was actually, like, a giant of sorts. Which... also, I kind of wonder if that adds a bit more context as well, because I think either later on in the Bible or maybe some like kind of assumed Jewish lore or something like that, that a lot of the giants were actually like spawned from basically a union, so to speak, to use a rather PG term, a union of human and angel, whether fallen angel or otherwise. This might also be a similar like backstory often attributed to the Nephilim, if and when you ever read about them. But with these giants being a sign of that kind of thing, which was also something God did not want. God did not want, mixing of humans and angels in that kind of way. That kind of almost gives all the more reason why some of these towns would have just been outright destroyed and all of the people killed. Because it was yet another sign of some sort of disobedience to God. Not necessarily on the part of humans this time, but perhaps even on the part of, like, some disobedient fallen angels. this footnote is probably just going to give the Hebrew units. So yeah, 9 cubits long and 4 cubits wide was the size of King Bashan's bed. Or sorry, King Og's bed. King Og of Bashan. So, yeah. Large person. Very large. This is who they were conquering here. But anyway. Okay. Moving on. Yeah. Verse 12. When we took possession of this land, I gave to the tribes of Reuben and Gad the territory beyond Aroer along the Arnon Gorge, plus half of the hill country of Gilead with its towns. Then I gave the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, Og's former kingdom, to the half-tribe of Manasseh. This entire Argob region of Bashan used to be known as the land of the Rephaites. Jair, a leader from the tribe of Manasseh, conquered the whole Argob region in Bashan, all the way to the border of the Geshurites and the Maacathites. Jair renamed this region after himself, calling it the towns of Jair, as it is still known today. Today, obviously, being when they would be reading this initially, not today. Anyway, I gave Gilead to the clan of Machir, but I also gave part of Gilead to the tribes of Reuben and Gad. The area I gave them extended from the middle of the Arnon Gorge in the south to the Jabbok River on the Ammonite frontier. They also received the Jordan Valley, all the way from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea, with the Jordan River serving as the western boundary. To the east were the slopes of Pisgah. So, hold up. It said Arnon Gorge in the south, and then I would assume it mentioned the Jordan Valley, Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea. I'm just trying to think of the boundaries overall. Western boundary was the Jordan River. Of course, camera reflection stuff. This is my left hand here, but you're seeing it on the right. So, let me flip that. Western boundary. Jordan River. East were the slopes of Pisgah. South would have been the Arnon Gorge. And north maybe was the Jabbok River. But a lot of these probably have... that gorge and that river might have different names nowadays. Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea are still pretty recognizable. Even on more modern maps. But anyway, that was all the land that just went to 2.5 of the Israelite tribes. Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh. Footnotes. Okay, Hebrew says Havoth Jair instead of the towns of Jair. Hebrew there's from Kinnereth to the Sea of the Arabah, the Salt Sea. So the Salt Sea would have also been another name for the Sea of the Arabah, which, again, being called the Salt Sea, yeah, that's very likely the Dead Sea. Dead Sea is very salty. And then I guess it said from Kinnereth instead of from the Sea of Galilee. But anyway. Then verse 18. At that time I gave this command to the tribes that would live east of the Jordan. Although the Lord your God has given you this land as your property, all your fighting men must cross the Jordan ahead of your Israelite relatives, armed and ready to assist them. Your wives, children, and numerous livestock, however, may stay behind in the towns I have given you. When the Lord has given security to the rest of the Israelites, as he has to you, and when they occupy the land the Lord your God is giving them across the Jordan River, then you may all return here to the land I have given you. So once again, just kind of restating the agreement that was made there. The fighting men would still have to help their fellow Israelites, take over and occupy the land that was promised to them. And if I recall correctly, Moses even went as far earlier as to say that if they didn't do that, then they weren't going to get the land that they wanted east of the Jordan here that was just mentioned. They would get some other land in Canaan. Which, that might have also served as extra motivation for the other tribes to want to hold Reuben and Gad here accountable, and their tribes, because if the tribes of Reuben and Gad stay east of the Jordan and not in Canaan, then that means there's probably a bit more left for the other 9.5 tribes to occupy. But, so that was kind of the summary of all that stuff that had just happened east of the Jordan. And I seem to remember some of this stuff that we're about to read actually was mentioned before these events, but I could be wrong on that. Either way, doesn't really change the major point of what happened. So, let's continue on here. Verse 21. At that time I gave Joshua this charge. You have seen for yourself everything the Lord your God has done to these 2 kings. He will do the same to all the kingdoms on the west side of the Jordan. Do not be afraid of the nations there, for the Lord your God will fight for you. At that time I pleaded with the Lord and said, O sovereign Lord, you have only begun to show your greatness and the strength of your hand to me, your servant. Is there any God in heaven or on earth who can perform such great and mighty deeds as you do? Please let me cross the Jordan to see the wonderful land on the other side, the beautiful hill country, and the Lebanon mountains. Okay, so maybe this kind of pleading of Moses's to God happened after all this stuff because, he was starting to realize that, hey, there's good things happening here, and clearly it's only going to get even better, assuming the people continue to follow God. And maybe knowing that God had said he wouldn't cross the river and truly get to see and live in the promised land, Moses was just kind of almost begging God to change his mind. But then we get to verse 26. But the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he would not listen to me. That's enough, he declared. Speak of it no more. But go up to Pisgah Peak, and look over the land in every direction. Take a good look, but you may not cross the Jordan River. Instead, commission Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead the people across the Jordan. He will give them all the land you now see before you as their possession. So we stayed in the valley near Beth Peor. So that kind of almost gives me further indication that this was, Moses kind of going back to God at a later time than this was initially established and asking God to please let him go there, even though God had previously said, no, you can't, because you didn't follow my directions when the people were begging for water. Um, so, so God's like, no, I'm staying true to what I've said. You're not going to cross. You can go up to this, high place and get a broad overview of it, but you're not going to get to actually go there yourself. So, if you want to make sure that the rest of the people are in as good a position as possible to go there and continue following my, leading, um, might want to give Joshua a little pep talk here. Because he's the one that's going to go and actually lead them across the Jordan to the rest of the Promised Land. So I think that is pretty much going to end the sort of recap portion of Deuteronomy, before Moses then gets into the actual additional instructions, statements, encouragement, whatever else that he's going to say. So yeah, that does it for chapter 3. Okay, gonna switch over to chapter 4 here. Because, yeah, this sounds like new instructions here. Or at least new reminders of instructions. So, anyway. Let me just double check my phone. Okay. No message from family yet. There's, in case you missed that part, Owl, there's a chance that I might end up getting some sort of text message or something from my family about wanting to, get on a call of some sort. So, if and when that happens, I will need to quickly wrap up the stream and do that. Long story short, someone in my extended family, actually my grandmother on my dad's side, just this past Monday night / maybe really early Tuesday, wound up dying of a heart attack, and just because of, family still needing to, make plans for the next day or two, and then because of the immediacy of the viewing and the memorial service for her, that I wasn't able to actually physically go there because most of my family lives 1,500 miles away up in Pennsylvania while I'm down in Texas. I'm the one that's, living that moved to a different state and am living rather far away. Also didn't help that the plane ticket for the flights there and back were going to cost at least $600 something. But yeah, in lieu of my ability to actually go there, one of my uncles recorded the memorial service, which I was actually watching just before, getting this stream up and running. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's not like I'm going to get into anything too, scandalous or anything like that. Yeah, it's personal, but at this point, all the information is public. Her obituary was posted, the services have already happened, and so it's not like I'm jumping the gun on saying anything. But yeah, I, I, I do, appreciate if it does get into or has me thinking of anything that's a bit more personal that I would maybe not want to mention to just anybody, then yeah, I'll keep that to a more private communication method, such as Discord DMs or anything of that sort. But yeah, since I couldn't actually go there, my uncle recorded the memorial service. I was watching that just before this stream, and my family had mentioned maybe wanting to do some sort of video call or something where I could possibly kind of at least have some sort of, you know, connection with extended family. But I don't know. I kind of thought that was supposed to happen yesterday and it didn't, so I'm not totally sure what's going on with that. But I'm still trying to be aware of the possibility that I might get a message pertaining to that kind of thing. So yeah. But until I get such a message, I will continue moving along as normal. So, that's really kind of the breakdown of everything that needs to be said in that regard. Yeah. Also, before I start with the next chapter, Owl, I'm curious if you've been, because you said you got your own Bible finally, and I'm just curious if you've, done much, if any, reading in your own time or anything of that sort. I'm not saying that, you really, really have to, but it's even with stuff like this that I'm doing, it still doesn't necessarily replace being able to read that for yourself and maybe see things your own way and approach it with your own mindset instead of just having it read to you and have somebody else's mindset and other natural inclinations be kind of added to it. Sorry, I was noticing a little something with my microphone here. Hey, it's good. It's good that you've read some. I don't feel rushed by any means to read a whole lot or anything like that. In fact, sometimes, taking longer to look at certain bits of it can actually be more helpful. Ideally, you kind of want a balance of sometimes reading more and sometimes reading less. In fact, I saw some post or another somewhere either earlier today or yesterday that basically had that same thought process where it was sometimes it's good to just focus on a couple of verses and really dig deep into those. Other times it's better to get a broader overview so you have more context on some verses that are typically read in just short chunks. But anyway, I digress. I'm just glad to know you're reading some on your own, and feel free to, if you have particular questions related to that, maybe chime in with those, and possibly when I'm not recording for Bible study stuff, or even just in general, I might, be inclined to give you my thoughts on those if you're looking for that. Reading it little by little, have loads of books to read and review, so yeah, true. Also, I'm not one who believes that, the Bible is the only thing that you should be reading that can actually give you good information. There are other books and sources that can have even, spiritual truths in them, even though they're not, like, directly the Bible. Especially if they take inspiration from the Bible. Like, yeah. Anywho, that's something I might need to actually work on myself a little bit more in the future, is reading more of other things. I haven't been that much of a reader throughout my life, other than when I had to read for, like, school stuff or whatever. Otherwise, it's mostly just been reading social media posts and dialogue in video games or whatever. But anywho, okay. This next chapter is kind of long, so I should stop talking so much before getting into that, lest I cause my throat to hate me. Alrighty. So, time to get rolling with this. Alrighty. So now we're looking at Deuteronomy chapter 4. It seems like the recap portion is done. Moses is done giving context for what he's about to say, and now he's going to give additional encouragement or instruction, or probably a mix of all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and of course this is all coming before they cross the Jordan River and go into the land of Canaan, which they were promised way back when God made the initial covenant with Abraham. So anyway, yeah, not too much else I think I need to say in terms of context. So here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 4. And now, Israel, listen carefully to these decrees and regulations that I am about to teach you. Obey them so that you may live, so you may enter and occupy the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. Do not add to or subtract from these commands I am giving you. Just obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you. You saw for yourself what the Lord did to you at Baal Peor. There the Lord your God destroyed everyone who had worshipped Baal, the god of Peor. But all of you who were faithful to the Lord your God are still alive today, every one of you. Okay, so there was, especially like the second part of verse 1 there, I found particularly interesting just reading through it now. The way it's worded basically makes it sound kind of like Moses is saying, all right, if you obey these instructions, then you'll get to, live in the promised land. With the, like, unsaid portion of that being that if they don't follow these instructions, then they won't really get to live in the promised land, at least not peacefully. Which, surprise, surprise, later turns out to be quite true when they disobey. But, and I guess just for Moses giving the Israelites an example of this actually happening, he's like, okay, so remember at this place when some of the people worshipped Baal instead of, Yahweh, our God, and then they all were destroyed, but the people who stayed true to the Lord our God lived. Yeah, proving my point there. Follow God's commands, and it'll go well. If you don't, bad things are going to happen. Okay. So then, verse 5. Look, I now teach you these decrees and regulations, just as the Lord my God commanded me, so that you may obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy. Obey them completely, and you will display your wisdom and intelligence among the surrounding nations. When they hear all these decrees, they will exclaim, "How wise and prudent are the people of this great nation! For what great nation has a God as near to them as the Lord our God is near to us whenever we call on him? And what great nation has decrees and regulations as righteous and fair as this body of instructions that I am giving you today?" I'll get to your question in a second there, Al. So Moses is basically saying here that, not only is God going to, make things go well with you if you obey him, but he will also, basically the surrounding nations are going to notice that things are going well, and they're going to, look at you in, amazement and with respect, and realize that, you're a good people following a good God. So yeah, anyway, not only would there be kind of recognition from God, but also from the other people groups around them. Okay, now to the question there, Al. The promised land in this context is perhaps meant in a way to resemble heaven slightly. It's meant to be at least a reflection of, God's people living the way God wants them to, and because of where it was located, with a slight variety of terrain, but also the ability to be, very fruitful, or very have bountiful resources. That's really kind of more so where it's possibly meant to kind of represent heaven, but it's not actually meant to be heaven or anything like that. Heaven is a totally different thing that will be 1,000 times better than even that. Made me wonder, because if the promised land is a place to live, they don't need it if they have 64. Well, first off, the 60 fortified towns were only going to go to... that was just the one kingdom that they conquered east of the Jordan that was going to be, possibly inhabited by the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh. 60 towns like that for, I think we established, probably somewhere in the realm of 1.8 to maybe 2 million people, in all likelihood. It's... especially the way towns worked back then, it wouldn't, 60 towns probably wouldn't have been enough for all of the Israelites. Which is why that land only went to, a couple of the tribes. But, again, so... rather than think of the promised land in the vacuum of the current context, I think it's also important to remember that the promised land is the promised land, not just because it was promised to these people at this time, but it was the land that was promised to Abraham way back when that covenant was made with God. And God said that his descendants would live in the land of Canaan for generations to come, and that his descendants would, be multitudes, and that they would bless the people of earth. So, yeah, that's actually the reason why it's called the Promised Land. Not because it's promised to this people group in this particular time, but because it was promised to Abraham, their forefather, generations ago. So, anyway. But again, all that to say, it was also a land that was, as the scouts saw when they were initially investigating Canaan, that it was also a land of plenty, that it had bountiful food and resources for them to live and prosper. And going way back to Genesis, be fruitful and multiply. And I think also in a way, like, some of the kind of some of what Moses is talking about here with the other nations recognizing, these people and their connection with God and how that's beneficial, that probably also kind of goes back to, or leans into at least, the previous idea in the covenant with Abraham that his descendants would be a blessing to the nations, because the other nations would see all of that going on and recognize that it's a good thing and possibly want to emulate that, or at least learn from it, or whatever. But, kind of benefit from seeing that in some way or another. Anyway, okay. Chapter is long. I should continue reading before I get too long-winded. So, anyway, verse 9. But watch out. Be careful never to forget what you yourself have seen. Do not let these memories escape from your mind as long as you live. And be sure to pass them on to your children and grandchildren. Never forget the day when you stood before the Lord your God at Mount Sinai, where he told me, "Summon the people before me, and I will personally instruct them. Then they will learn to fear me as long as they live, and they will teach their children to fear me also." Yeah, so once again, kind of the flip side of, all right, following God will be a good thing. Even other nations will recognize that it's a good thing. But if you don't, just, no, do not forget it. Don't let it slip your mind. Make sure that your descendants also know these things, so it'll go well with them. And even if, I was just, as I read the part where it said, "Then they will learn to fear me as long as they live," I suppose in a way that could legitimately have been fear. A lot of people tend to assume that's more of like a reverence sort of idea, but especially when the Israelites first saw just the cloud that God was in on Mount Sinai, they were fearful. Probably because it looked a lot like a storm of some sort. Footnote there about Sinai. Hebrew says Horeb, which is just another name for it. But same mountain, same idea. Okay. And continuing with the reflection back on Mount Sinai again, we get to verse 11. You came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, while flames from the mountain shot into the sky. The mountain was shrouded in black clouds and deep darkness. And the Lord spoke to you from the heart of the fire. You heard the sound of his words, but didn't see his form. There was only a voice. He proclaimed his covenant, the 10 Commandments, which he commanded you to keep, and which he wrote on 2 stone tablets. It was at that time that the Lord commanded me to teach you his decrees and regulations, so you would obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy. So, I don't know why I just thought of this now, and I'm not saying this is necessarily the case, but like, flames shooting into the sky and the black clouds and deep darkness, that sounds like a volcano, actually. I'm not saying that was actually a volcano, but if it wasn't, then all these flames were just coming from God, and obviously where there's fire, there's smoke and clouds and stuff like that around it, but even just being close to something that would even kind of resemble possibly a volcano or that kind of danger, would strike some fear into people. Footnote there at 10 Commandments. Hebrew just says the 10 words. But like, almost with emphasis on the 10 words. Like, the main 10 words. This is the main stuff you need to know and follow. Which is probably why it's more commonly called the 10 Commandments these days. Okay. So then, that was, well, seems like we're still kind of reflecting back on Mount Sinai, but Moses might be, connecting his current / upcoming instructions to what was given to them at Mount Sinai when they were initially, given God's commandments to follow. So, verse 15. But be very careful. You did not see the Lord's form on that day he spoke to you from the heart of the fire at Mount Sinai. So do not corrupt yourselves by making an idol in any form, whether of a man or a woman, an animal on the ground, a bird in the sky, a small animal that scurries along the ground, or a fish in the deepest sea. And when you look up into the sky and see the sun, moon, and stars, all the forces of heaven, don't be seduced into worshipping them. The Lord your God gave them to all the peoples of the earth. Remember that the Lord rescued you from the iron-smelting furnace of Egypt in order to make you his very own people and his special possession, which is what you are today. So, we're not meant to see God's form, which is all the more reason not to be making any idols. Even if the idea is to make something that looks like God, don't try and craft something that might kind of resemble God, but not actually be a full reflection of God, and then worship that imitation of God rather than God himself. Also, don't worship anything that God created, because why should you? Those are things that God created. He is bigger and better than those things. Anywho, moving on, trying to continue kind of quickly because, again, long chapter. So, verse 21. But the Lord was angry with me because of you. He vowed that I would not cross the Jordan River into the good land the Lord your God is giving you as your special possession. You will cross the Jordan to occupy the land, but I will not. Instead, I will die here on the east side of the river. So be careful not to break the covenant the Lord your God has made with you. Do not make idols of any shape or form, for the Lord your God has forbidden this. The Lord your God is a devouring fire. He is a jealous God. In the future, when you have children and grandchildren, and have lived in the land a long time, do not corrupt yourselves by making idols of any kind. This is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, and will arouse his anger. I still find it interesting how Moses is almost kind of slightly passing on the blame for his inability to go to the promised land, as if he himself didn't disobey God. Like, yes, it was him who disobeyed God in that instance, but, like, he was frustrated with the people, which was why he did what he did then. And that's probably kind of why he thinks of it like this. Just, yeah, I don't know. But also saying down here that the Lord your God is a devouring fire. Again, going back to the, like, fiery, almost volcano imagery that, like, yeah, maybe don't mess with God, because if you do, you're gonna get burned, whether literally or figuratively. Yeah, so that's a bit of the rub, you might say, with trying to follow God, because, like, as much as we might work to try and understand, you know, an infinite, all-powerful God, like, our human minds can't fathom that. And I guess it's... I guess the idea with not making idols and worshiping those is more so just to make sure you're not limiting yourself in your worship to just, like, certain aspects of God. Because that's kind of a habit some people fall into. I mean, shoot, if, like, other people who might worship the sun or the stars or something like that, they're in a sense worshiping a facet of God. You know, the fact that he created the day-night cycle and, you know, gives light to the land, which is important, and, you know, also in the evening, though, gives rest. Like, but if you worship that, that's only a facet of God and what he made that you are then worshiping. Similarly, if you know, make an idol of God because of some certain event or like a certain facet of God that you want to emphasize with this image that you're creating, and then you start worshiping that, you're focusing on just a facet of God rather than the entirety. But yes, I do understand how that can be a bit confusing. It's almost like... it's almost something you have to constantly kind of wrestle with, so to speak. Like, trying to worship God and recognize that there are good things about God while not necessarily focusing too much on those particular aspects of God that you start worshiping just those aspects of God. That's about the most sense I can make out of any of that. And that's me in my finite human brain trying to make sense of that in relation to, again, an infinite, all-powerful God. But anyway. All right. Moving along. Verse 26. Today I call on heaven and earth as witnesses against you. If you break my covenant, you will quickly disappear from the land you are crossing the Jordan to occupy. You will live there only a short time, then you will be utterly destroyed. For the Lord will scatter you among the nations, where only a few of you will survive. There, in a foreign land, you will worship idols made from wood and stone, gods that neither see nor hear, nor eat nor smell. But from there you will search again for the Lord your God. And if you search for him with all your heart and soul, you will find him. In the distant future, when you are suffering all these things, you will finally return to the Lord your God and listen to what he tells you. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not abandon you or destroy you or forget the solemn covenant he made with your ancestors. Once again, this word becomes rather prophetic, because the people do eventually disobey God and stop worshiping him and are scattered to other lands. So, yeah. That might also be a reason why there's the emphasis on idol worship and, trying to avoid that. Because that's, again, God not only being all-powerful, but, knowing of people and how we behave and just really even kind of the inevitable future. It's like, okay, this will trip you up. Be warned. This is probably... this is definitely multiple times now that the Israelites on the whole have heard such warnings and instructions. Now, granted, some of those warnings were to the old generation that is now dead, as at this point in the Bible. But still, in a way, it's maybe not so subtly saying, hey, this will eventually be the downfall of your descendants. So, just saying, just so that doesn't happen to you, maybe try and put that off as long as you can by following these instructions and not making other idols. Not to mention that was also within the Ten Commandments and that kind of stuff. But anyway. Okay, verse 32. Now search all of history, from the time God created people on the earth until now, and search from one end of the heavens to the other. Has anything as great as this ever been seen or heard before? Has any nation ever heard the voice of God speaking from fire as you did and survived? Has any other God dared to take a nation for himself out of another nation by means of trials, miraculous signs, wonders, war, a strong hand, a powerful arm, and terrifying acts? Yet that is what the Lord your God did for you in Egypt, right before your eyes. Footnote there at God. Hebrew might have said voice of a God instead. Interesting. I guess because it's talking about other nations, they might not necessarily have heard from, God as in, Yahweh. They more likely would have heard from another, deity that they worship. And, yeah. So... it's like, Moses is now like, all right, so has anything like this happened before, where, a deity has taken a people group and just straight up rescued them from the clutches of another people group. No, this isn't a thing that happens all the time. All the more reason to worship God. Okay, real quick, checking phone stuff. Okay. That I can look at a bit later. Okay. Moving on to verse 35. He showed you these things so you would know that the Lord is God and there is no other. He let you hear his voice from heaven so he could instruct you. He let you see his great fire here on earth so he could speak to you from it. Because he loved your ancestors, he chose to bless their descendants, and he personally brought you out of Egypt with a great display of power. He drove out the nations far greater than you, so he could bring you in and give you their land as your special possession, as it is today. So remember this and keep it firmly in mind. The Lord is God both in heaven and on earth, and there is no other. If you obey all the decrees and commands I am giving you today, all will be well with you and your children. I am giving you these instructions so you will enjoy a long life in the land the Lord your God is giving you for all time. So, all that to say, like, these amazing things that, like, don't happen, this was God, your God, that has done these things. He's the only one worth worshiping. So, remember these commands so that things will go well, kind of re-emphasizing that. Okay, yeah, there are stories of, like, the Greek gods and other mythologies and things like that. Although I honestly can't recall, I mean, not that I have an extensive knowledge of multiple other religions or mythologies or anything like that, but I can't necessarily recall another religion having within its history a moment of, any god or being rescuing a chosen group of people from the midst of another essentially more powerful, kingdom or people group or something like that. And again, I'm not going to say for sure that that's, like, actually never happened in any other context. But I think the point here is more so that, like, again, these things don't just happen all the time. Like, there might be stories of, people being victorious in battle. There might be stories of, rebellions and uprisings that, happen kind of within a group of people, but then they usually still end up, like, living in that same area because they've successfully, usurped their captors or something like that. But with it being so obvious that there was, a godlike being that was so obviously fully in control of all of that, I think is kind of the main standout point that Moses is emphasizing here and trying to communicate to the Israelites that this is why their God is worthy of following. Anyway, okay. On to verse 41. Then Moses set apart 3 cities of refuge east of the Jordan River. Anyone who killed another person unintentionally, without previous hostility, could flee there to live in safety. These were the cities: Bezer on the wilderness plateau for the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead for the tribe of Gad, Golan in Bashan for the tribe of Manasseh. These cities of refuge were described back kind of close to the end of Numbers, as I recall. And they were pretty much for the purpose that was just described there. Why it needs to mention those now, of all times, I don't know. But, I mean, if that was just the next thing that actually happened in the sequence of events or whatever, then okay, sure. Just keeping a timeline of events. Okay, not much else to say there. Verse 44. This is the body of instruction that Moses presented to the Israelites. These are the laws, decrees, and regulations that Moses gave to the people of Israel when they left Egypt, and as they camped in the valley near Beth Peor, east of the Jordan River. This land was formerly occupied by the Amorites under King Sihon, who ruled from Heshbon, but Moses and the Israelites destroyed him and his people when they came up from Egypt. Israel took possession of his land and that of King Og of Bashan, the 2 Amorite kings east of the Jordan. So Israel conquered the entire area from Aroer at the edge of the Arnon Gorge all the way to Mount Sirion, also called Mount Hermon, and they conquered the eastern bank of the Jordan River as far south as the Dead Sea, below the slopes of Pisgah. Okay, so this seems like this section is a bit of a preamble to the actual, new instructions that Moses is giving the people. Maybe not even necessarily new, but the instructions that Moses is about to give the people at this point in time. And the way it's described, there might also be a lot of overlap with the commands that really God gave the people through Moses at Mount Sinai. And I guess we'll get into that in the next chapter, but that's... I assume that the next part then will be the commands that Moses was talking about earlier on when he was saying, hey, make sure you follow these commands so things go well in the Promised Land. Footnotes there. Mount Sirion. That is as in Syriac version. Hebrew reads Mount Sion. Okay, just different name for it. Dead Sea there. And talking about calling it the Sea of the Arabah instead of calling it like the Dead Sea by the Jordan River. But anyway, just different names for things. I seem to recall somewhat recently looking up the word Arabah or whatever, and it pretty much just meant like wilderness or desert. So it's not necessarily like that was actually a particularly special name that had another significant meaning to it. Kind of hearkening back to earlier on in the Bible, a lot of names given were rather literal in their meanings. But anyway, so I guess that does it for Deuteronomy chapter 4. I don't have any other thoughts on it. So, yeah. Come back next time when we cover chapter 5 and following, apparently getting into Moses' second address and other commands that might end up sounding kind of familiar, or maybe a little bit not so much. I don't know. Anyway, rambling on now. That's it for this chapter. Okay. Recording is done. Oh, man. So, I did get a couple of text messages, but those were actually just like my dad sending some pictures of my, well, at least sort of the immediate family of, my grandmother who had, just had the memorial service and all that. And as is apparently obligatory for, group photos, you got to take one that's kind of more normal / serious and another one that's a bit goofy. But I don't need to actually share those pictures. Okay, so, as per kind of the usual with these streams, I'm gonna take a slight break to switch over the setup, and then we'll get to some just chill video game time. I am, as always, still open to, discussion of Bible stuff or really just about anything. But that's just what I'll be doing in the meantime. We're going to be quiet. I had to transfer over from my phone to the iPad. No problem. Hopefully you didn't really miss much Bible study-wise. And of course, if you did, there's other means of checking back on that later. But yeah, I'm going to switch over to some video game stuff, but I need a minute to do that and give myself a slight break. So I will be back somewhat shortly. Okay, and I am back. And this is the game that I will be playing just for chill stream time.
A game by Villa Gorilla.
So I was actually kind of reminded about this game, / got a glimpse of it from somebody else. Realized I had it on my Xbox, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm down for a rather lighthearted kind of experience right now. So, yeah. Let me just double check the options real quick. Sound effects volume, maybe turn that down slightly. Music volume, turn that down a bit more. Vibration strength, sure, whatever. Okay. Oh yeah, and now I can bring chat windows over to my other monitor that is closer to my TV. So once again, I will have to do a bit less looking back and forth. Yeah, you mentioned, yeah, you mentioned you've been playing a certain game a lot. Apologies for, once again, not remembering the title. Wasn't it like a Harvest Moon? Like something from that series? Anything happen if I roll this way? Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Okay, I got a little bit of fruit or something. But that's it. But, technically, yeah. So, hey, having some games to enjoy is all well and good. I mean, as long as you're not spending too much time on it and it's like distracting from things that actually like need to happen IRL. You're the new postmaster they sent to relieve me, eh? Glad you showed up. Something big is going down around here, and I don't feel like sticking around. Before I leave, I've got your first assignment right here. My old postal badge. Deliver it to Nim the translator in the village. Okay. The Island Express is your duty now, so make sure to deliver the badge to Nim or you'll be in trouble. That's it for me. Farewell, good luck, and take good care of the Island Express. Thus, Yoku's Island Express. We are Yoku, and we are now in charge of the Island Express. I assume. You got the old postmaster's badge. You're supposed to give it to Nim the translator, who is way over there. Okay, so if I press X... and then... okay. Oh, okay, X there zooms out. If I just go... okay, so I don't even need to bring up the inventory first. I can just go straight to the map thing with Y. Fruit. Yeah, so There's a bit of like almost a pinball aspect to this. In some ways. Because you have to use these little flipper kind of things to navigate certain areas. Checkpoint, I guess. I do not have 30 fruit yet. Whoa, hello. Where do you think you're going, Postmaster? This is my pond. If you want to cross, you're gonna have to pay the toll. See, what I want grows on the high cliffs above. Juicy cove mushrooms. My mouth waters just thinking about them. Anyway, you get me a big one, and I'll let you cross the pond. More stuff to get. Yay. It's kind of like that game Rayman. Yeah, the art style does look a lot like Rayman, come to think of it. Yeah, the art style seems kind of reminiscent of Rayman, although the gameplay is definitely not so much. I guess it's almost like if Rayman sort of fused with, like, Sonic Spinball. Except there don't so much seem to be, like, level hazards like in Spinball, so much as just, you know, other things to find and explore and do. Hold up. There might have been something else I would have wanted to do back there. Fortunately, a lot of these bumper flipper things wind up giving you they wind up taking you exactly where you need to go to get to the things that you would want to get to. Aha! More fruit. That's why I wanted all that. Okay, cool. Or just OG Sonic. Yeah, but Spinball even more so. Like, yeah, Sonic tended to kind of bounce around at high speeds a lot in the OG games, but, like, sorry, I wouldn't say fond memories of Spinball, because, it was like the only old school Sonic game that I wasn't really able to beat. Okay, somebody's sleeping there. Okay. Need 30 fruit to unlock that. Can I get over here? Yeah. Okay, and then I can go back this way. But then there's more fruit down there. Do I want... Okay, well, first off, let me go ahead up here to this chest. What is it? You got the noise maker. It's not a post horn, but it'll do. Press A to blow your horn for attention. That's a noisemaker, alright. We are in the wrong half of the year for that to be particularly relevant. Hey, what is this? Oh, hey, fruit. Hold up, if I get this spinning fast enough, we'll... No, that's about as fast as it spins, okay. Checkpoint. Now what? Now there's got to be something in those things. Nope. not what I was trying to do. Okay, that lit part of the fire up there. Now there's the other part. More fruit! Because apparently fruit is like the currency around here, or something. Can I actually control my movement after the shot a little bit? Yeah, kinda. At least that's what it seems like. What if I fall down here? Oh. Just leads me to this bumper. And hiya. There we go. Okay. Can't really break that like this. More fruit there. Okay. 61 fruit out of 100. Okay. Cool, I guess. But didn't really do a whole lot for me. Okay, I think at this point I might actually kind of want to go back down here. Or maybe more so over the... Oh, hold up. I got a noisemaker. Hi there. I like to come up here looking for mushrooms. This is a great place to pick fungi, but you've got to be careful. Poison toadstools like to grow near the cove mushrooms. A single bite is enough to put someone's lights out for days. If you still want to grab some shrooms, I recommend the cliffs on the east side. That's where the juiciest grow. Okay, east side, which would be to the right, I assume. But I want to go down here, get this fruit, and yeah. No. I was not trying to do all that. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's an option. Not sure I can actually go much of anywhere else. Because I have to get the mushroom to get past the pond dude there. Okay, so... maybe I have to figure out a different way to go or something. Okay, back over to the right then. But then how do I get through here? Oh. I could just do that. I didn't even realize that. Hold up now. If I could just break those with the noisemaker, then there's another one back this way that I would like to utilize. Okay, well now I've got 85 fruit out of 100. I would imagine there's going to be something coming up fairly soon that I'll need that for. Oh, like this right here. Okay, but first, curiosity really is going to get me in quote-unquote trouble with this game. And when I say in trouble, I just mean that it's going to probably make me take a whole lot longer just because of being curious like that. Hey, now there's a bridge kind of along there. in case I wanted to backtrack from where I am now. Okay. But I think my actual, you know, goal that I want to get to next is over this way. There it is. The mushroom. Nope, come on now. I might as well get this fruit while I'm over here, I guess. Okay, that broke that. Ah! It was right there, but I guess that's not how you get to that. There we go. You got a juicy cove mushroom. What a treat. Map updated. Feed the eel. Oh, that's probably a poison one. Do I still take it anyway? Got a poison toadstool. Anyone who eats this will be knocked out cold for a long time. Oh, man. In theory, I could maybe kind of give the poison one to the river dude. Whatever his name is. Or the pond dude, actually. Whoa. Okay, enough of that. I'm gonna go down this way, I think. Go along here. Drop down this way. Hello. Whoa, what is that delicious scent? Is that a cove mushroom I smell? Go on, hand it over and I'll let you pass. So I could give him the poison toadstool instead. I feel like being nice. We'll actually give him the cove mushroom. Delicious. You're not a bad sort, Beetle. Go ahead and cross my pond. I won't stop you anymore. Alrighty. Now we're in the gorilla woods. Yeah, it's almost like the game wants you to maybe be a little mischievous. Found a wickerling. Good fortune is bound to come to whoever collects a lot of them. What does that even do? These weird roots are said to spread good fortune wherever they're... Okay, whatever. Oh, man. Suppose, you know, I am maybe a little bit tired today. Had a rather busy day at work. Actually, had a rather busy weekend on the whole at work. With this being, you know, the US the weekend before the 4th of July. And the fact that I work in retail on said occasion. Yeah. Hello. Got a wallet upgrade. You can now carry 150 fruit. Nice. Hello. Hey, Beetle, give us a hand. Sootlings are crowding our nest. Please get rid of them and we'll give you something good. Okay. How exactly do I do that? Well, that didn't work. Also, what would be over here? Another party. Yeah. I don't work in the bakery part of a supermarket, but I do work in a supermarket. And, yeah. It's especially interesting because my job is, you know, helping to fill the online orders. So, like, trying to navigate the aisles to get the stuff for the online orders, while there are plenty of in-store shoppers crowding up the aisles. And not to mention just the increased number of online orders because of the upcoming holiday. Yeah. Makes things quite hectic. Also, random note, I got a little bit of a snack here. My family, for my birthday, which was just like, you know, 2 days ago, sent me a little box with some cookies and snacks and stuff. So I'm still kind of partaking of some of those. I don't think I've had any sort of like real actual like fruit snack that's purely a snack like this in quite a while. I wouldn't say I swore off of like fruit snacks and the like, but oh geez. Right, okay, don't fall through there. I lose fruit if I fall through there. Anyway. So, yeah. A little while back, I started having some issues with my teeth. And, when that became a noticeable issue, I kind of decided, yeah, let's maybe stay away from the snacks that are inclined to stick to my teeth. But it's not that I'm like completely forbidding myself from eating them. It's just, generally speaking, I'm trying to stay away from them a bit more. Finding fruit in things like cakes and biscuits. Yeah, no, I'm talking pure like gummy fruit snacks. So like, you know, I mean, these are basically just mini gummy bears that I'm eating right now. Take nabbit. I just need to get that last. There we go. Like, now I don't care as much about getting all the fruit. There we go. Okay. Oh, and that was just the intro to the game. Nowhere near Kingdom Hearts 2 level of long intro, but jeez. Yeah, also this is just like teeny tiny little bag. Way to go! Thanks for getting rid of those sootlings. They're someone else's problem now. And I get a bunch more fruit. I mean, cool, I guess. But also, that was blocking my path forward. So helpful that I unblocked that, I guess. Hello? Who are you? Oh, come on. There we go. Finally. I've been stuck in that smelly old pot for way too long. Name's Kickback. I'm new to these parts. I figure I owe you for letting me out. So tell you what. I'll block those thorns for you and help you get up the tower. It's the only way to go if you want to reach the village. Okay, but like, what if you don't do it right the first time? Whatever. Oh, so that's how I get that. Okay. Hey, we make a pretty good team. I think I might just stick around a bit longer and help out. Kickback joined up. Kickback will now randomly appear in bubbles and block thorny pits. Okay, cool. Less fruit loss to thorns. Jeez. I spent like 30 fruit on unlocking that bumper, but I gained most of it right back just there. Gorilla Wood's Great Ape. What is this great ape of which you speak? Anyway. Let's stick to this bit first. Okay. Yeah, another text message. Okay. Right. Some of my immediate family was traveling back home. And I guess just letting anybody else know that they made it safely. Where do I go from... Also, how about going in here? Okay. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I need to get those crystal thingies there. How do I get that one, though? Hiya. Nope. Heh. No. What the heck? No. Yeah, maybe. There we go. More fruits, okay. That I probably just lost. Oh well. There we go. Oh geez, and now I need to do that multiple times. Great. Nope. Okay, that's twice. There we go. Okay, that opens that up, and... That's, fair way up. I was gonna say a long way up, but maybe not that long. Okay, 30 fruit for that. That's fine. Checkpoint. Juicery. Hey, watch it. You're in my space. This juicery belongs to the Skull Gang. We produce the purest cocoa juice in Mokumana. Juicing is hard work. Nothing for scrubs. So stay back before you hurt yourself. Really now? Well, I guess I can't go. Okay, fine. Don't let me have any fun. Ah. Nope. Oh, come on. Whoa, that's a lot of bumping around and getting fruit because of it. That's probably what was supposed to happen the first time around. Boing. Checkpoint. What's over here? Ivory Peaks. Hello. Sorry, but the way to Ivory Peaks is closed. Someone just blasted through the bridge and left it in pieces. I'm trying to fix it. I'd get it done quicker if I had my toolbox, but I left it at Rinri's new house. Rinri lives in the huge mushroom in the upper part of the village. Bring me my toolbox and I'll fix the bridge. Which is just past the translator? What was that? Whatever, Nim. Hello. Treasure. Another wallet upgrade. Okay. Oh. Okay, I need 10 of those to do whatever with that. Otherwise, I'm assuming I can't really do much this way. Ah, it looks a little scary, actually. Let me go back the other way before I do that. If I even can. Ooh, hold up. No! Okay, let me try and get a little bit more speed. Yeah. Nope. Okay, fine. What happens if I go over here? Oh, that's just where I was before. And that way was just the person who said to get the toolbox. So I guess I kind of have to go this way. What's this? You've got a postal badge? Then you must be the new postmaster. I am Nim the translator. It is my duty to guide the people of Mokumana Island. I'd shake your hand, but I'm a bit tied up at the moment. It's very good you showed up now. Mokuma was attacked by the God Slayer. Mokuma is the lifeblood of our island. If we lose Mokuma, everything will fall apart. In the attack this morning, Mokuma was branded with the mark of the God Slayer. It all happened so fast. It was just a blur of yellow teeth and fangs. The brand pulsates with something wicked and appears to be draining the strength from the old one. I know you haven't had time to get your bearings, but this is urgent. I'm sending you out straight away. Hang on to the postal badge. You'll need it now that you're handling official island business. These letters must be delivered to the 3 chiefs of Mokumana. Making them accept their summons might take some work, but the task is very important. We will need all of their power to undo the wicked seal to save Mokuma. The chiefs live all across the island. You should start with Spina in Marrow Hill. You'll get there by crossing the Great Waterfall. Okay, but which one's which? That's Sal. Okay, that's Spina. Gotcha. Oh, man. Okay, got that. Hold up. Searching for answers at the Great Falls. Willow. I guess I need a key to open that chest, and that is a key I do not seem to have. Whoa. So I suppose then I must go further this way. But what's up here? Hello. Squawk! Welcome to your new office. Squawk! You have one new message. Would you like to hear it now? Are you recording? Okay. This is Post Pterodactyl speaking, and if you're listening to this, you must be the new postmaster. Congratulations on your new job on the Island Express. Or at the Island Express, whatever. The office is a bit messy. It's nothing personal, just lost my passion for this job, you know? So the gig is pretty easy. I've left you a mailbag with the parrot. If you come by any empty mailboxes, just cram a couple of letters into them and make sure the mail always gets through and all that. Okay? Great. So that's it. You make sure to take care of the old express for me. Now, how do I turn this thing off? Squawk. End of message. Got the mail bag. Press A to stuff letters into empty mailboxes. Okay, I was hoping to do something to get up there to that, like, gold winged badge thing, but I guess I can't yet. Oh, hey, look at that. Letters. Oh, geez, there's so many empty mailboxes I've already passed up, though. Hopefully I'll get to go back to those eventually. Okay, that just takes me up there. And I probably can't unlock that yet. Maybe go in here. Your ball is terribly out of style. I'd offer you some help, but with Moguma so upset, I haven't been able to go out and get refills for my sprinklers. If you come by any sprinkle baubles, please bring them to me, and I'll try to improve your somber-looking ball. The ivory look you've got now, while a classic, is much too basic. Don't forget to bring me any sprinkle baubles you come across. Okay. And I suppose that is just to wash off any color that I add to it eventually. In case I change my mind and say, no, I don't want this color. That needs 80 fruit. I have a lot of fruit that I need to get. Right, that was up there, and I don't need that, so... Does that mean I gotta go backtrack and, like, fill up all the different mailboxes? Seems to be kind of what that means. Great. No, that wasn't... I was trying to, like... do it sort of a... Yeah, do it in a way that would get that to turn again. To maybe get more fruit from there. Okay, that's done. No more fruit from that. Okay, then. Is there a way to make myself fall down here? Seemingly kind of not. But maybe if I go way over here, where this not bridge is, then maybe I could just fall down from there to a different spot. Also, that is not a text message. That is just another random phone notification. Alright. That's it for those gummy bears. I might get a different snack later if I feel like I need to. Oh, I can't even go past there, though. It's all blocked off by the wood. And I know I haven't found a toolbox. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is a way to fall down here, and I'm just not quite sure of it. There we go. Sorry for making you want a snack, I guess. I don't know. Unless you don't think that's a bad thing. Ooh, yeah. Fall. Nope. I was trying to fall right where those pots were so I could get those. Okay. Let's go down here, I guess. No, not there. I wanted to go down the other side of that thing. But there is more fruit this way. And more fruit is kind of what I need. But what I really want to do right now is go up that way, so I can actually, you know, legit kind of backtrack. Okay. Nope. That doesn't do it. That was dumb. Nope. Oh, hold up. Can I drop down? Nope. Darn it. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. No. Don't want to go up there. Okay. Yeah, this section. I didn't really do this section yet. Okay. Need more fruit before I could do that.
Hey, you're that beetle who chased off the sootlings. Since you're such a good guy, I've got a neat deal for you. It's a bigger wallet. With it, you can carry even more fruit. It's yours for 100 fruits.
I don't have 100 fruits yet.
That's okay. You can come back if you change your mind.
Nice to know that that will continue to be there in the future. But right now I have other things which I really need this fruit for. A lot more than I needed for that. What is this? What are these things? Whoa. Slug gardens. The slugs are unstable while in heat. A single nudge and then kaboom! I'm the slug gardener. Good to meet you, beetle. Slugs are turning into a real problem. I'd fix it myself, but... What? All the slug control tools are in my shed. It's over in the meadow, but the way there is overflowing with slugs. If you're looking to get into the slug handling business, you're free to borrow my tools. Just make sure to pop a slug or two on your way over to the meadow. Get the gardener's tools. Okay. Mailbox. I sure wish delivering the mail in real life was actually that easy, where you could just kind of randomly shove mail into the box without really caring who it's for. Oh, man. Whoa, hello. Okay, that broke one of those. Nice. Well, I've definitely popped a few slugs along the way. Slugs don't make you lose fruit or anything, do they? Doesn't seem like it. But that does. Actually, can I break that thing too? The one that's like spawning the slugs? I would guess not. There we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Slug Garden Meadows over there. Oh. That's not at all where I wanted to go. But while I'm over this way, I can get a bigger wallet.
I knew you for a buyer the moment I saw you. Here you go.
Wallet upgrade. Can now carry 250 fruit. Nice. Hopefully I don't need to use that fruit for anything really soon. Okay, back down here now. And over this way. Yeah, I can't go all the way up that, so... Oh yeah. Nope. Come on now. Okay. Cool. Door is unlocked. Well, that kind of messed me up a little bit. There we go. Okay, hang on a sec. Another notification. What is the message this time? Okay. Stuff about order of service for church tomorrow morning. And now there's probably going to be more messages in that chain or people reacting to that message. Let me go back this way real quick. Kind of have a feeling there's maybe a little bit more that I can do with this particular spot. Or maybe not. I mean, there's a little bit more fruit that I could potentially get, but it doesn't seem super necessary. Alright, mailbox. Get stuffed. Can't go through there. Ooh, but... Hey! Okay, I've got fruit there, and... Got the slug vacuum. Hold left trigger or right trigger while near a slug to suck it in. Interesting. Okay. Nope. Guess I gotta go from about here. Okay. I was like, I need some momentum. And now how do I get back? tastes like chicken. Suck up a slug with the slug vacuum, okay. I wouldn't think that would actually taste like chicken. Just saying. Oh. Oh, okay. I see how that works now, I think. I need to have a slug on my rock. And then I can make one of those things explode. Yeah. That's how I get rid of those. And then I can, you know, travel some new paths. Cool. Cool, cool. Boop. Nope, not high enough. There we go. Ow, no. My fruit. I do like that it slows things down a little bit when you're close to a slug, so you've got a better chance at actually, you know, vacuuming it up. I personally would argue Sonic Spinball was more complicated, just saying. But, agreed that this is also a lot more than just a simple pinball game. Whoa, that's a lot of fruit there. Okay, although one of those things is not fruit. Okay. That way. Yeah. I guess now I can talk to him again. Most people are afraid to deal with the slugs. But not us slug busters. We're the bastion between slug and civilization. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking to head up to the village, I recommend just keeping left past the Great Ape and up the tower. Okay. Thanks, I guess. So we got the slug vacuum there. Get back, noisemaker. Okay. I will say, though, this game definitely has a bit more story to it than Sonic Spinball. The story of Sonic Spinball was pretty much just complete the level, or really levels, and then, you know, defeat Eggman, and yeah. Stereotypical Sonic game stuff, just with pinball. Okay, what is down here? I need 10 of those for that. I don't have 10 of those for that. Can I even get anything down here? Somehow went under the water there. Yeah, I know. That's... That's why I said it was basically just, you know, classic Sonic game, but pinball. Hello. Patch of moist, juicy mulch. I mean, I guess for a beetle it might be considered juicy. Oh wait, no. I could have gone in the tunnel thingy there. Hang on. This is one of those games that really makes you want to not stop playing it. Okay, what have we here? I'm not sure I can do much of anything here, actually. Not at the moment, anyway. Alright. So, now what? Oh, man. Is there something else I could do over here now? Well, I mean, got plenty of mailboxes I could fill over this way. Okay, still can't go that way. I wonder if eventually there's going to be some kind of way to go, like, underwater. If there already is, I am not aware of it. I just really hope that it wouldn't be one of those things like in Sonic 3, where it's like, hey, at this one specific moment, in this one specific level, we're gonna make you use a different control scheme that we've never made you use before. In case you're wondering, it was it was in the, I think the Casino Night Zone of Sonic 3. There was one particular level that had, a little, like, kind of spinning cylinder platform thing that apparently what you were supposed to do, without any other direction or inclination given, was that you were supposed to use the D-pad to move it up and down instead of, you know, doing the normal just moving sideways and jumping. Ah, no. Can't lose the chickens. I just moved into this tree. A lazy slob who used to live here left a wickerling behind. I have no use for it myself, so you can have it. Thanks. Somewhat smart / nerdy looking bunny. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to remember which. I'm wondering if that was Sonic 2 that had that pinball-like level where there was a bunch of bumper things, and there was like a slot in the middle that you could get Sonic into, and it would literally like roll like what looked like a slot machine kind of thing. And depending on what result you got, you either got, you know, a bunch of rings or lost a bunch of rings, or yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm thinking that was Sonic 2. I can't remember the name of that particular zone or whatever, but yeah. I don't know why I'm backtracking all this way. Other than just, I'm really not sure what else to do. Uh-huh. There is a mailbox here. See, it was another, like, casino-themed set of levels in Sonic 2, though. One of those two that we just talked about was definitely Casino Night Zone. I'm not sure if it was that one in Sonic 2 or the other one in Sonic 3 that I was remembering that had the changed up controls. Okay, so that one was Casino Night Zone. That makes me wonder what the one in Sonic 3 was. I actually did, at one point, have those games downloaded on my Xbox. I kind of wonder if maybe at some point I should go back and play those again just on a live stream or whatever. Never played Sonic 3, only played 1 and 2. And really going back to the Genesis / Mega Drive days, the OG Sonic 3 could also, like, pair up with Sonic and Knuckles to pretty much expand the game there. Definitely did try one where it was teams of 3, but Sonic 3 does not have teams of 3. The only one I could think of that had teams was Sonic Heroes. And that was definitely not Genesis era. That was... I remember playing that on PS2. Yeah, each team had their own different stories. One team would have been Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Another team would have been, I want to say, Shadow, Rouge, and I'm really not sure who the other character would have been there. The one team had... Oh, jeez. One of the teams had the Bumblebee one, Charm, I think, and the Gator guy whose name I can't remember, and then Espio, the pink one, pinkish purple, whatever. Cute big fuzzy guy. Oh wait, you know what? I got that mixed up. Espio and Vector the Gator were on one with a third character that I can't remember. The one with the big fuzzy guy, that's Big the Cat. And he was probably on the team with Charm. And I don't remember who the third one in that team was either. My, knowledge of Sonic is maybe not the most detailed out there, but I mean, I'd say I can remember a fair bit. Actually, should I be going down here? Is there like something else down here that I didn't do before that maybe I could do now? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so then how do I get back up? Because this clearly doesn't seem like it's gonna let me do anything new. There we go. Okay. I don't remember going here before. Oh, wait. Yeah, I do. A secret cave? No clue what that was. Also, was that supposed to resemble my character, like, kind of dying? Quote unquote? Or, I don't know. Okay. More text messages about tomorrow morning. Okay, anything different if I go up to the village now? Ooh, hey, you! I wasn't able to get you before somehow. Or I probably was, and I just didn't pull it off right. Yeah, this is where I was like, hey, this is how I get up to the village, right? And I was wondering how to even actually do that again. Maybe. Something like that. You really want to try juicing, is that it? Fine, I'll give you one shot. If you can fill up the juice-o-meter, I'll accept you as a juicer. Just climb the top of the tree and get the juiciest cocos. Bring them over to the juicer and start juicing. About 3 should fill it up. That's how you do it. But I wouldn't get my hopes up, scrub. Yeah, no. Oh, wow, that's really the only... Okay. He literally only gave me one chance at that. Huh. Can't say I expected a game that's normally this forgiving to be so harsh when it came to that. Oh well. Alrighty. And that way over there is just the broken bridge thing, right? Yeah. I don't have any tools, I just have a vacuum. Okay. Do I have 10? No. I definitely don't have 10. I have 7 of those. Getting closer. Oh. Do you have anything new to say? Right. Oh yeah, I gotta get to the Chiefs. Still don't think I found the key for this. Okay, moving further along this way. Anything new? The old postmaster was a real slob, Squawk. I hope you'll do a better job. Really wish I could, like, vacuum this. But I guess the vacuum is only for slugs. Ball spring. Oh, yeah. Right, sprinkles. Oh, right. This is one that I needed to unlock that I couldn't before. Where does this lead? Great Falls. Oh, this is new too. Hang on. Okay. More group text interaction stuff. Slug vacuum? You sure someone your size is fit to handle heavy-duty equipment? Well, I mean, oh, jeez. No. I want to do it a little bit sooner than that. Oh, come on. I held the trigger. Although maybe the problem is I kind of sort of tried to hold both triggers. Come on. No. I don't want another slug there now. Huh. There we go. Okay. Boing. 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 Kind of a Dory taking on the jellyfish kind of moment there. Why do I always get so curious about, like, this stuff? Hello.
Eep! Those siblings are trying to get me.
Oh, that takes me to the Underdark, which is supposedly not where I should go first. Mail time.
Hello, Postmaster. Squawk. Keep filling up those mailboxes. You've already filled 10 of the 30 that are on the island. Squawk. I've cleaned up the Island Express for you, and I have found some overdue packages that need delivering. You'll have to look into it yourself, Squawk. The overdue packages are on the table at the Island Express.
Okay. Man. Hello. Who are you?
This is a hop-on point for the beeline. It's supposed to be the fastest way to get around the island, but sadly, it's not activated. There might be a way to activate it over at the hideout. That is, if you can get the skull gangers to let you in. They're notoriously private. Personally, I can't stand dealing with them. They give me the creeps.
Oh, so that's why I've got to eventually do the whole juicing thing. Probably. Also, how close am I to... kinda close to that. Ugh. Kinda sorta debating on wrapping up the stream soon, but, oh. Skull Gang's hideout. Stay out. Do a little bit of that, and one of these. Okay. And why did I want to look at that? What's down here? Church of the Space Monks? Oh, hello. Secret Sanctuary. Is this the secret place that it showed earlier? This used to be the sacred garden of the space monks. It was filled with glow moths, favorite food of the dive fish. My tribe left and abandoned it in their pursuit of science. And after a while, the glow moths stopped coming,
Without the glow moths, the dive fish starved. This is the last one. It's so small, I doubt it will ever get to teach anyone to dive. I went looking for the glow moths in their spawning grounds on the left side of the pool, but I found nothing but abandoned old cocoons. My tribe is disgusting. Find out where the moths have gone. Okay. But what's over here? Tadpole spawning pool. Okay. You know, definitely cannot go down into the water. Hiya. Nice. I like the fruit. This cave used to be full of glow moths, but they're all gone. A scrawny space monk used to come here looking for them. But the monk was never motivated enough to scale the slick walls. I wonder what's up there. Jeez, 80. Well. Nope. Okay. Do I somehow need to be a bit more... There we go. Okay. Return to the hidden pool. You mean where the, like, frog guy was that I talked with? That was a long way to fall. Oh, hello. So many glow moths. I can't eat them all. Did you do this, Beetle? Space Monk has left us. I don't think we'll see my friend again. Bringing the moths back was my friend's lifelong wish, so I'm grateful. Please, let me show my appreciation for what you've done by teaching you how to dive. You've got the dive fish. Press A repeatedly to dive while swimming. Yes! Aha! I knew there would be a way to go underwater. Seemingly nothing else down here, though. Also, what? Tadpole. Slimy dive fish tadpole. Yuck. Do fish even come from tadpoles? Pretty sure they do. At least, you know, to the best of our scientific knowledge. Also, apparently I have, like, unlimited breath. Which is nice. How much you want to bet I'm supposed to take all these tadpoles and put them into the spawning pool? Whoa. Okay, lots of fruits and one of the wickerlings. Forgot what those were called for a second. I knew it was something with a ling. Oh, hold up. I press A here. Okay. But what does that do? Are there more that I need to find? Is that the issue? probably. Oh, hey, look at that. Another one. I can only assume it's a matter of, like, finding all of them and then something will happen there. I'm just not sure where I would have missed one. Oh, there we go. Any others over this way that... Nope. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, then. Hopefully this is the last one, and that means something will happen now. Hello. Thank you for bringing little ones here. Gift from me to you. And another wallet upgrade. I can now carry 300 fruit. Okay, well, that wasn't quite the thing that I was looking, or that I was thinking I would maybe end the stream with, but that seems like a good enough note to do it on. So yeah, I guess that will be all for tonight. I do need to, you know, spend a little time just relaxing and taking it easy before I have to go to bed and get ready for church stuff tomorrow. So yeah. Once again, thanks for stopping by, Owl, and anybody else who has been watching. And yeah, I think I'll continue playing this game, you know, after the Bible study portion of the study stream Saturdays, at least until I get through the game. But yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's getting to a point where it's a little bit confusing where I'm supposed to go and kind of tedious figuring it out, but not so bad that I'm willing to give up on it yet. So anyway, that's going to do it for now, I guess. So yeah, hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I will see you next week for another study stream Saturday or other live streams in between or whatever. But whatever the case is, till next time, stay cool, everybody.